Hey knitting peeps, welcome or welcome back to my channel, bopeepknits. My name is Lisa. If you are new here, if we have not yet met before, I'm a beginner knitter based in Canada, and this is where I share my adventures as a new knitter. So if you are interested, then please make sure to subscribe to follow along on the journey. This is episode 8 of my knitting podcast. It's been a little while since I last filmed one, so I am a little bit rusty, but we are going to follow the general knitting podcast format. I'll talk about my finished objects first, then we'll go into whips, and then at the end we will chat a little bit about my yarn acquisitions. So without further ado, let's get started. So this first finished object is incredibly special to me. I knitted the Hanni cardigan by Knitters and Friends to commemorate my late dog Kaya. Now I have a project vlog documenting the whole entire knitting process from start to finish. So if you're interested to see all of the details, the project vlog is up on my channel. But we can talk about the Hanni cardigan today. This is my Hanni cardigan here, and she's just so beautiful. I am in love with her. I knitted my Hanni cardigan using the Sandnes Garn double Sunday yarn in the color Camel, and I held it with the Isager silk Mohair in the color 63. My Hanni cardigan took me about 2 months to knit. I casted it on in January, so I worked on it throughout February. I left the country in March, so I didn't get to work on my Hanni cardigan at all during that time. And then when I returned in April, I finished it. And so it took me about 2 months to work on this thing, and I am very pleased with how it turned out. I didn't anticipate me taking that little time to knit up a whole entire cardigan, just because my first ever cardigan, the Maggie cardigan, took me quite a long time. I think about like 4 or 5 months or something like that. I really enjoyed knitting my Hanni cardigan, and I thoroughly enjoyed wearing it as well after I finished it. I actually had to stop myself from wearing this cardigan every single day just because it is so soft. I love the oversized fit, but it's not too oversized. It's just so comfy, and like you can wear it to work, you can dress it up, you can dress it down, go to the grocery store, and this cardigan is just so versatile. So I really think that this Hanni cardigan is the perfect addition to my closet. I don't remember there being too many difficulties, I think. My one major struggle with the Hanni cardigan was not even about the Hanni cardigan pattern. It was just that I was just running out of yarn and just, dealing with that whole issue. Since finishing my Hanni cardigan, I have received quite a few compliments on it. I think people seem really surprised when they find out that I actually knitted this item. And I don't know if it just looks machine knit. I'm not too sure. Or maybe you can kind of find a similar style in stores, but I'll take it as a compliment. One person who really seemed to like my Hanni cardigan was actually my future mother-in-law, Mr. Bo Peep's mom. And so when she saw me wearing my Hanni cardigan, she told me that she wanted one herself. And so we will be revisiting the Hanni cardigan pattern very soon. Now, I will be knitting up my mother-in-law's Hanni cardigan with a yarn that I will be showing you at the end of the video, so please stay tuned for that. My next finished object is also an incredibly special project to me. It's part of my bopeepknits series. And yes, you heard that right, bopeepknits. I am getting married this year. I don't think I shared that in like a more official capacity on this channel. Mr. Bo Peep proposed to me back in January on my birthday, and so we're getting married this year. It just seemed like the right time to do that, and so we'll be getting married and then celebrating with her friends and family sometime next year. That's for future bopeepknits to figure out. So I wanted to knit something special for that milestone. Knitting has become such a big part of my life and such a big part of my identity as well that it would feel wrong not to knit anything for this chapter of my life. And because I am a knitter and I'm like trying to get into sustainable fashion, I really don't want to participate in like the more stereotypical bridal things where you would buy certain pieces and only wear it during that season of life and dispose of it after. Like that is definitely not what I want to participate in. And so when I was thinking about what I wanted to knit for this time of my life, I wanted to make sure that I would be able to wear these pieces outside of being a bride, because I'm only a bride for a certain amount of time, and then after that I'm just regular bopeepknits, you know? And so I wanted to knit something that I could rewear again and again after this whole bridal era. I was racking my brain, what should I knit for my bridal shower? What should I knit for my bachelorette? I ended up knitting something for my bachelorette dinner. And so what I knitted was the Ivy blouse by Petite Knits. This was a very long intro to this finished object. I'm so sorry. But yes, the Ivy blouse by Petite Knits. And I do have a project vlog for this project if you want to know all of the details. But we will get into it here today as well. So the Ivy blouse, I knitted it using this yarn that I got while in Japan. Mr. Bo Peep and I went to this store called Animono Spin, and I got 7 skeins of this lovely yarn called Fish 3. And so this is a mohair yarn that is actually 3 strands of mohair. So there's a blue strand, a pink strand, and a white strand. And as soon as I saw it in the store, I just fell in love with it. I knew that I had to knit something bridal for my upcoming bridal festivities with this yarn. And in store, I was like, this would make the perfect Ivy blouse. And I was right. The Ivy blouse turned out exactly how I wanted it to look. So I'm so happy with it. Unfortunately, I have only been able to wear it once, just because it is very hot now. I finished it just in time for me to wear it that bachelorette dinner night. So the Ivy blouse actually calls for mohair yarn held double. Now, I mentioned that the Animono Spin yarn is 3 strands of mohair held together. And so I actually got away with only using 6.5 skeins of this yarn. And that was a huge relief for me. I completely bought out the whole store's quantity of the Fish 3 yarn in the color blue. They only had 7 skeins, so I bought all of the 7 skeins that they had. And it would have been really tragic if I ran out of yarn and needed more. So I am very happy that I was able to finish this piece with the amount of yarn that I bought. If the Fish 3 yarn was just any other regular mohair yarn where it is just 1 strand of mohair, it probably would have been a nightmare to try to rip everything back and redo everything, and maybe I would have had to turn my Ivy blouse into an IVT. So I am so incredibly happy with how it turned out. I think all of the stars aligned for me to get this project done, especially since I was running into an issue with the sleeves. And I was really worried that I wouldn't be able to finish it in time. But yes, the sleeve issue, I knitted the size medium, and I'm usually a small or medium with petite knit patterns. I sized up just because I wanted this blouse to be a little bit more flowy. I wanted there to be some positive ease. But I found that the body had a lot of positive ease, like a lot of positive ease, which is fine. That was the look I wanted. But then the sleeves, when I followed the pattern, it was just too tight on my arms. And that was really strange to me. Like I think I met gauge. So I wasn't really sure what was happening. I ended up ripping the sleeves back, which was pretty tragic. I was really sad about that just because I did spend a lot of time knitting the sleeve. So I had to rip it back. I believe it was this one. So I ripped it back and I just did the sleeves with no decreases, and it doesn't look weird or anything like that. And it does fit a little bit more loosely, but not as loose as I would have liked, or how I pictured this blouse to fit. But overall, I still think this ivy blouse looks amazing. I will insert some footage of me wearing my ivy blouse the night of my bachelorette dinner for you. I'm in love with my ivy blouse. I'm so happy with it. I'm so happy with how it turned out. The girls who knew that I was knitting this ivy blouse for my bachelorette dinner, they were quite impressed with how it turned out as well. I love this yarn. It's so soft. It's not itchy whatsoever. And I just really like the uniqueness of this yarn. Like, I've never seen a mohair yarn that is tri-colored, which is just so interesting to me. Like, each stitch is a different color. And I don't know if it will really show up on camera, but it's just so unique to me. And this blue as well is a little bit unique because it is a sky blue-ish, but there's also a gray undertone to it. And then it's also mixed with the pink and the white. And like, obviously there's that mohair glow to it. So I love it. This is an absolutely perfect bridal project for me. And I just know that I will be getting so much wear out of it once the weather cools down. I've only been able to wear this ivy blouse once for my bachelorette dinner, and that was it, just because the weather has been so hot. But I'm sure that you can tell that I'm so pleased with this knit and how it turned out. And I probably can see myself knitting another ivy blouse, probably in one color. We will see. But yeah, that is my ivy blouse. So my next finished object is something that I've been beefing with for quite a while. Now, if you are new on this channel, you may not know, but I am a bear bonnet hater. Like, I love how bear bonnets for babies look, but I don't like knitting them. And I don't think I'm very good at knitting these bear bonnets for babies. Now, there are two patterns that I've knitted so far, both from Knitting for Olive. And so the one that is very popular that you may have seen before, it's the baby bear bonnet. I knitted, I think, 3 of those so far, and all 3 of my attempts have gone bad. Like, they just all look wonky in one way or another. I've just struggled with that pattern so much. And so I have knitted the more beginner-friendly version, the rail bear bonnet, also by Knitting for Olive. And that pattern isn't as popular, but it is definitely easier than the baby bear bonnet, I would say. So I've only knitted that pattern once, and I had a somewhat good experience with it. I didn't think that it was too difficult. And so because I've had so much beef with the baby bear bonnet, I was like, you know what? I'm going to knit up the rail bear bonnet. I don't know if talking about my beef with this pattern was the best way to introduce this project, this finished object, but I did knit the Rail Bear bonnet by Knitting for Olive using the Sandnes Garn Tynn Merino wool, which is a yarn for babies, I believe. I've knitted with that yarn before for the bear bonnet, the baby bear bonnet. All of these bear bonnet names are so similar. I'm so sorry, but the Rail Bear bonnet. I knitted this up for one of my high school besties and also one of my bridesmaids. She is expecting a little baby boy. And so I thought that this lovely bear bonnet would be so cute to knit up for her. But I'm staring at it because all I see are the mistakes that I made. I'll just hold it like this so I don't have to look at my mistakes in the back. But like from the front, it looks fine. Also, sorry, this is very chaotic. I'm just jumping around. I did make some modifications. This is not what the Rail Bear bonnet looks like, or at least what it is intended to look like. I'll just show you the back. Brace yourselves, people. Yeah, this is a mess. So I didn't do the neck band here, and the tie straps are actually supposed to be wider. And the reason why I did these modifications was actually because I was trying to win Yarn Chicken. And I did, actually. I did win Yarn Chicken by 1 centimeter. Yeah, you heard me right. Round of applause, please. Yeah, I've been waiting to tell you guys that I won Yarn Chicken by 1 centimeter. People in my life don't knit, and so they don't know how crazy that is, you know? And I wish I recorded it for you guys, but you're just gonna have to take my word for it, okay? But yes, the Rail Bear bonnet, it's not supposed to look like this, but it does. I modified it so that the ties are a little bit skinnier and so that they look more like the baby bear bonnet ties, which I like a lot more. Those ties were made from I-cord. And so I just followed the pattern less. Like I knitted less than what the Rail Bear bonnet pattern, indicated. And then for the neckband, I just didn't do the neckband. I just bound it off. Bind it off. So that's my Rail Bear bonnet. My second attempt and probably my last, because I just really do not like knitting these things. And to be honest, it's definitely a me problem. Like it's most definitely an issue. There's just something about these bear bonnets that just don't really, like in my head, it just doesn't compute. Like I don't know what it is, but I just can't get it to look how the pattern is supposed to. Like I can't execute it right. I don't know. And I really want to knit just one. If I can knit just one bear bonnet that looks nice, you know, that would be like the highlight of my knitting career, truly. But you know, for now we're stuck with all these bear bonnets that just have these huge glaring mistakes that I can't stop looking at. And I just feel so bad, okay? Like I want to knit, my intention, I really want to knit a nice bear bonnet for my friends, for my loved ones, but instead, the Rail Bear bonnet still does look pretty cute, I must say, but my eyes just go straight to the mistake and I can't unsee it, you know? So regardless of the mistake, I really hope that my friend likes it. I hope that it fits the baby just fine and keeps the baby's head warm during the fall, winter months. Did I mention the yarn that I used? I think I did. I don't have anything to say other than I have beef with this pattern, and this is probably my last ever attempt at knitting these bear bonnets. Maybe I should just try like one of Petite Knit's bonnet patterns and see how I feel about that, but they're just not as cute. You know, like they don't have these little bear ears. And bear ears are cute. It's whip time, so let's chat about what is on my needles at the moment. The first work in progress that I have is the Betty scarf by Milote by Vic. I really hope that I'm in frame here. Okay, you can kind of see the whole entire project, sort of. It is curling up a little bit. But the Betty scarf is a kind of scarf or shawl pattern by Milote by Vic. It is quite popular. It's a triangular shawl scarf situation, and there is this kind of like feather and fan lace scallop edging on the sides of the scarf. And so I'm working away on this thing. Actually not presently, but I was working away on this thing. It is not at the length that I want it to be. I definitely want my Betty scarf to be a little bit longer here so that I can tie it up. I can't really tie it yet. But the Betty scarf is supposed to be a shawl pattern for the summertime, or I could leave it at the office, you know, when the AC gets too cold and I have something to throw on kind of thing. So this project is intended for that. You may actually recognize the yarn that I used for my Betty scarf. I don't have a label for it, but it's the Sandnes Garn Børstet Alpakka in the color Shocking Pink. And I actually used this yarn for another Milote by Vic pattern. I believe the pattern was called the Merinoull sweater. And that pattern was kind of like this puffy, oversized t-shirt sweater. I really like that pattern, but it was knitted bottom up, and that part I didn't like. So I actually frogged it. I never finished that sweater. I'm pretty sure I mentioned the Merinoull sweater in one of my videos, but I ended up frogging that sweater and I used the yarn to knit up the Betty scarf. I do like the color, but I do feel really good about frogging the Merinoull sweater, just because I don't think that this color looks good on me as like a clothing item, especially so close to my face. I just think that this color just does something weird to my coloring. I think it's a little too cool tone, but I do love the color. And so I'm really happy that this yarn has a second life and it's now going to be an accessory. So I just need to continue to work away on the length of this scarf. And then once I'm happy with the length of it, I have to knit the feather and fan portion, which is going to be my very first time working lace. And maybe that's why this whip has been taking a little while. I've been kind of procrastinating because the actual triangular scarf pattern is very easy. It's just the feather and fan part, from what I hear, is a little bit difficult, and that would be my first time working lace, and I'm a little bit worried. Milote by Vic, her pattern writing style is not very detailed, and so I'm a little bit worried about that part, but I will keep you guys posted on my thoughts. But yeah, that's my whip update for now on the Betty scarf. Now this is very, very, very long overdue. But this second whip is a project that I have been meaning to cast on ever since I started knitting. This is my Klara blouse by Maria's Verdun, and I actually bought this pattern when Maria's Verdun didn't even offer her patterns on Ravelry yet, so I had to buy it on her website. That was how long ago I've had this pattern, and since then she updated her pattern. Anyway, the Klara blouse by Maria's Verdun this is the front, I think. This is the front of what I have so far. I'm currently working on the yoke of the Klara blouse. And just in case you're unfamiliar with the Klara blouse, it's a blouse type of sweater with a Peter Pan collar. And so I instantly fell in love with it when I saw the sweater. I instantly bought the pattern, and it has taken me this long to cast it on. The yarn that I'm using for my Clara blouse, I've actually used before. It's the Londonor Eco Baby in the color pink. I've used the Eco Baby before, but in a different color for my Maggie cardigan. Originally, I bought this yarn for the Clara blouse, but I was going to pair it with the Hobie Friends Kit Silk in the color Hint of Pink. I since then have sold that Mohair yarn, and you may have seen, but I am using a different Mohair to pair with the Eco Baby. I am using the Wandering Flock. I think this is Mohair Silk, and this is the color Candied Peaches. And so together, they just make this very lovely peachy pink sort of color with like bright pops of neon orange, neon pink, and this like purple sort of color. I really like these two yarns together. I think that it is a little bit different. I normally wouldn't really go for like a variegated sort of look. These two yarns together just make the most beautiful kind of like cotton candy, funky and sweet sort of vibe. I don't know if that's like the best way to describe it, but it's definitely different from what I envisioned my original Clara blouse to be. But I just wanted something different. I didn't want a Clara blouse that was monotone and was just like either one color of pink or one color of white or whatever. I wanted something a little bit different, and so different was what I got. And I'm really happy with how it's looking so far. I don't know if this will look good on me, to be honest, but I'm gonna wear it anyway. I really like the colors. And so my one issue with it, so far so good, by the way. The pattern is great. I haven't run into any issues except this one little, potential problem in the back of my mind. One thing that I'm worried about is that I only bought 3 hanks of this Mohair yarn. I got it on sale on the Knitting Loft's website, and they only had 3 hanks left, so I bought all 3. And now I'm worried about not having enough yarn. Story of my life, this happens all of the time. Me worrying about not having enough yarn, and I'm really worried this time because 3 hanks of yarn I think only equates to like 800 meters or something like that. So I'm really hoping. Please cross your fingers and your toes for me, you guys. I need all of the luck in this world to, ensure that I have enough yarn. And the reason why I am especially worried for this particular pattern is because not only do I have to knit the garment, I actually have to knit the collar as well and then attach it to the Clara blouse. And obviously I have to knit all of that up with the 3 hanks of this Mohair yarn that I have. And I've looked on the Knitting Loft's website, and they don't have this colorway anymore. So I don't know if this Candied Peaches color is like a limited edition, or maybe it's like an older colorway and that's why it went on sale. I don't know, but we're gonna try to work with what we have. I could always make this Clara blouse into like a t-shirt length sweater. So we'll see, but that is not ideal. Yeah, we'll just have to see what happens. So let's quickly talk about yarn acquisitions. I have a yarn basket here, and we can quickly chat about the yarn that I will be using to knit the hanni cardigan for my future mother-in-law, for Mr. Bo Peep's mom. And that yarn will be the Drops Big Merinoull in the color, I believe it's called Forget Me Not. This would be my first time working with Drops. I've acquired Drops yarn before, but for whatever reason, I've either returned it or resold the yarn. And so I haven't had the chance to work with drops yet. And so this would be my first time. And I'm quite excited. Just from feeling the skein of yarn, it does feel a little bit like the Sandnes Garn Double Sunday. So I am quite excited about that. One thing that I did notice though is that one skein of this Drops Big Merino yarn equates to 75 meters, which is much less than Double Sunday or any other skein of yarn that I would normally use. So these are the yarn skeins side by side. This is the Sandnes Garn Double Sunday, and this is the Drops Big Merino, and you can see that they look pretty comparable. But the Double Sunday is 108 meters of yarn, and this Drops Big Merino is only 75, which is not a lot. So I had to buy quite a few more hanks or a few more skeins of the Drops Big Merino to knit up the hanni cardigan. I forget how much I bought, probably around like 15 or 16 skeins. So I'm really hoping that that is enough yarn. Again, this is a common reoccurrence on this channel. But yes, eventually, once I knit up the hanni cardigan, I will definitely update you guys how I feel about this yarn and how I feel about revisiting the hanni cardigan pattern. My next acquisition is part of another bopeepknits project. Now, I feel a little bit hesitant, I guess, announcing that I will be knitting this project just because I am worried that this pattern is still a little bit out of my scope. I've been thinking about this pattern for a very long time. I saw it when I first started knitting. I fell in love with it. I bought the pattern. It is quite a popular pattern. So many people have knitted this pattern, and rightfully so, because it's just so beautiful. But I think that this piece would be absolutely perfect for my wedding wardrobe. And the pattern that I'm talking about is the Heartless Top by Midsummer Knits, aka Emma. I've actually knitted for Emma before, test knitted for her. I test knitted the brie boat neck, and I have a project vlog on that. I have been thinking about the Heartless Top for a very long time. I think that this is the perfect occasion for it. And so I plan to knit the Heartless Top using this beautiful, stunning hand-dyed yarn that I got custom ordered from Good Grief Dye Studio, which is part of the Good Grief yarn store in Toronto. So I don't live in Toronto, but I was always very curious about Good Grief Yarn and Provisions. That's a yarn store in Toronto, and Mariah, the owner, hand dyes her yarn as well that she sells in store and online. And so I placed a custom order for this particular color, which is September 15. And I reached out to her after placing the order to confirm the colorway, because on the website I wanted to make sure that the color is what I envisioned in my mind. I really wanted a more pastel sort of colorway, and I just instantly fell in love with the colorway September 15th. So I reached out to her, asked her some questions, and she was so kind. She responded to me, and she actually shared a story about this particular colorway, September 15. I don't know if I can share it, but just to kind of paraphrase her story, September 15th is named after the date that she actually got married, which is so surreal to me that I think the stars kind of aligned for us to chat and for me to get to know Mariah's story, and for me to place an order on her website and all that. So anyway, I think it was definitely meant to be. September 15th was named after her wedding date, and the colors of this particular colorway were inspired by her wedding bouquet. And I think that is just so lovely. it just makes this project so much more special. So I am very excited to knit the Heartless top by Midsummer Knits. I can't wait to see how this yarn knits up. I bought 4 hanks of this yarn, I believe. So it should be more than enough for this top. But I just am so in love with the colors. I can't. Like, this would be so perfect. All I need now is just the wire that goes in the top to form the heart shape. But other than that, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to cast this on, you know? So there will be a project vlog for this bopeepknits project. So please stay tuned for that. And speaking of good grief yarns, my friend and another one of my bridesmaids, she actually ended up gifting me a gift card to Good Grief Yarns. So thank you so much, Jess, for supporting this channel, for supporting me and supporting Good Grief Yarns as well. So I can't wait to make another purchase on that website. And the very last acquisition is also from another bridesmaid of mine, another one of my good friends, Karen. She is a subby on this channel, so thank you so much. She bought 3 skeins of this yarn that I've never heard of before. It's called About Strings. Super, super cute. I love the packaging. I love this, like, I don't know, it's just very unique. I've never seen a yarn packaged in this way before. But this yarn is from their Absolutely DK line, and it's in the color Ivory. So super cute, very wedding-esque. I don't know what I will knit up using this yarn, but I know that it will be totally loved and cherished. I think this would make like a really cute like scarf or maybe like a hat or something. We will see. I can't wait to use it up, so thank you. So that's it for episode 8 of my knitting podcast. It truly means a lot to have each and every one of you watch my videos, like my videos, comment on my videos. So thank you so much for your support. I know that I've been MIA quite a bit this year. Work has completely taken over my life. It's been overtime, HE, double hockey sticks, if you know what I mean. But I do have a little bit more time now, so I really want to put in the effort to film and edit for you guys, but I am really sorry that it's taken me quite a while. So thank you for your patience. I do hope that you have been enjoying my videos so far though. And yeah, my next video will probably be a yarn studio makeover. I'm still in the midst of like making over my room. So that is probably going to be the next video. I do hope that you will enjoy that. Please let me know in the comments what you are knitting up right now. I would love to know. I would love to be inspired. I would love to add another project in the queue. So do let me know what you are working on. And until we see each other next, happy knitting. Bye.